Hey everybody, this is Kasu. Welcome to the Type A Hybrids for Seeds hybrid video. And without further ado, let's begin. Well, first up on our list is not all these big guys. This little guy, the Argi, the Argiloboa. The Argiloboa is a combination of the Pegomestax, the Titanoboa, and the Compi. Oh, and just before we start, if anyone was asking like, oh, what's the difference between the Type 1 so Type A hybrid, I have no idea. But for the Argiloboa, you can pick it up. And so what does it do? Well, it's a shoulder pad that you can basically ride. As once I throw it down, where they go? I can move closer. I can ride it. So what can it do? Well, left click is a bite attack that does not a lot of damage. Right click is a tail swipe that also doesn't. Oh, that deals a little bit of damage. However, it's a bit hard to use. It's only able to do anything behind, hit anything behind. And the last attack is the C attack, which is a lunge attack, which apparently does not damage. Does it? Yep, it doesn't damage. However, being a shoulder pad and relatively fast, both, well, not in the water, but on land, this guy is yep, pretty self-explanatory. Right, next. Next up on the list is this guy, the Mantisaur. It is a mixture between the Mantis, Megalosaurus, and the Trilobite. Saddles wise, it does not need a saddle, as you can just ride it as it is. For its left click, it is a bite attack. For its right click, it is an acidic spit. That kinda hard to hit. Then its next attack is the C key, which is a headbutt, which deals okay damage. And lastly, X is call for help. Upon activation, you gain an 20% movement speed and 50% of their HP back. So yeah, and also from the note, it says that it has high passive armor. Not too sure what that means, but yep, that is the Mantisaur. Next up is this monstrosity with a ridiculously long name, called the Dilophosaurus. It is a mixture between the Dilo, the Ankylosaurus, and the Dimetrodon. It does not need a saddle to be ridden on. As you can see, it is relatively slow. Like, really slow. But what about its abilities? Also, it has quite horrible stamina, unfortunately. Let's start with its abilities. Left click is a tail swipe attack that can help harvest items. And on the note says here that it can harvest metal. Right click is a standard bite attack, and it's pretty fast. So this probably is your main source of damage. Next up is the C key. C key spews a bunch of Philo venom that deals hefty amount of damage. Let's see again how much venom. Get this out of it. Let's see again how much venom this guy spews. Yep, around 6 projectiles. And if you use it point blank, that's gonna hurt pretty bad. Next is the X key, which is Eternal Friendship. This increases health, stamina, and melee damage for teams and players for 10 seconds. So let's take a gander whereby that died immediately, but never mind. So let's summon the Tylocoleo again. As you can see, I'm doing 200 damage to it with my left click. Now if I have to activate this ability, I do almost 100 plus more damage, and for 10 seconds. So yeah. Yep, and that is the Dilophosaurus. There we go. Up next is, where is he? This guy, the Carnoleosteus. The Carnoleosteus is a mixture between the Ravager, the Carnotaurus, the Shinehorn, the Raptor, and the Dunkleosteus. His left click ability is a bite attack that deals bleed. His right click ability is a headbutt that deals a bit of knockback. His C key is grab and trash. Basically it picks something small up and trashes it around doing AoE damage at the same time. I'm not too sure what counts as small, but to demonstrate the AoE ability, let me just grab one. Yep. So this is good for clearing out wide area of mobs if they are a bit too close. And lastly is X key, which is cave armor. This basically grants me 10% armor. As you can tell, I have a slight reduction in damage. Also, the Carnoleosteus uses the Carno saddle, as shown here. And that was the Carnoleosteus. Next up is this cool ass creature called the Blood Gorge. It is a mixture of the Athrothurera, the Caprosuchus, and the Lamprey, or the Leech. So its saddle is its own unique saddle. Just look for Blood Gorge and it should be there. So his left click attack is a bite attack. This bite attack, however, gives the ability. Basically, the left click leeches HP from the opponent, similar to the Blood Wyvern, and also giving it a short DOT over time. It does not stack, however, it does reset the timer. Next ability is the right click ability, which is a scratch attack. The scratch attack will inflict stamina debuff. C key is a grab. However, this cover damage is a bit too large for me to grab, so I'll be looking for something else. Like this Paraceraphus apparently can be grabbed. And while grabbed, you can obviously do whatever you want to it in your mouth. You can bite it, claw it. Either way, it works. Next ability is Control, which is Athro Split. So, if I'm not wrong, if you can grab something, you can even split it in your mouth. So, anything that you can grab is at this thing's mercy. Lastly is his X key, which is just a static roar. And that is the Blood Gorge. Up next is this reverse mermaid, I guess. It's called the Lutodraco. This is a combination between the Coelacanth, the fish, a Carnotaurus, and a Thorny Dragon. Left click is a bite attack that deals quite a big sum of damage. Right click is a tail swipe that also deals AoE damage around it. C key is a roar that will activate, that will have the same effect as a Rex's roar. But it also stuns any creature similar to the Rex. Then lastly, his X key is an aesthetic rattle. It doesn't really do much. This creature is also relatively fast in water, so it's a semi-aquatic creature. Also, the Lutodraco uses the Carno saddle too. And that was the Lutodraco. Up next is this guy, the Glacius Venator. The Glacius Venator uses a U-Tyrannus saddle. Its left click attack is a standard bite attack. Its right attack is lesser encapsulation. Basically, it's a worse snow owl encapsulate buff, but it can attack while being in this state. Basically, it can heal while attacking in this state. Make it doesn't heal as much, but since you can still do action, it's a pretty good buff. Its next attack is a C key, which is called Bitter Cold Beam. It basically shoots a cold beam of light. A beam of cold light, sorry. I can tell it deals a significant amount of damage. But let's see in the air. There we go. And lastly is his X key, which is a roar. However, this roar, unlike the UT, doesn't really do much. And that was the Glacius Venator. I have no idea how to say his name. Up next, we have this guy, the Dodo. So he's basically a charge pet, but looks nicer. It's a mixture between the Dodo, the Parasaurolophus, and a Featherlight. So this can be used to track things from further away and also light up a larger area. And that was the Dodo. Next up is this guy, the Calumlator, or they call it the Yomoth. It's a mixture between the Otter, an Ovis, and a Moth. For its saddle, it does not need a saddle, so you can ride it immediately. Its right click does not damage. Okay, its right click does a bit of damage, but that's not the main purpose of the right click. The main purpose of the right click is to go onto this little, these bushes here, and if I were to right click, I gain a ton of fiber. And the next two abilities can only be used on the ground. So its first ability is a C key, which is a knockback. And you can see it can do significant amount of knockback while not aggroing anything. Its next key is, next ability is X key, which is Startling Slam. This doesn't do much ability, but it's used to get attention of other creatures, like so. I see there's not much ability, like it doesn't do much abilities, and it doesn't do much damage, but I'm not sure what they mean by attention of other creatures. Additionally, this moth can dive, making it a pretty fast tame, like so. And yeah, that was the Calumlator. Next up is the Smiloscorpius. The Smiloscorpius uses his own saddle. Left click is a standard bite attack. Right click is a claw attack that does bleed. C key is a grab. What can it grab? I am not too sure. Next up is X key, which is a sting attack. However, it's a bit wonky to use, as I'm trying to hit this guy but it's not working. Yep, for some reason I'm unable to use his sting attack, as I've been trying on the big prey and even a medium-sized one is not working. Lastly, control key is supposedly a raw, but it's not working. So this is the Smiloscorpius. It's quite buggy at the moment. Next up is the Spinojalosaurus, a mixture between the Spinosaurus, the Tapejara, and the Procoptodon. It uses the Tapejara saddle, meaning that it can also use the Tapejara's tech saddle. Its left click, if I can hit anything, its left click is a bite attack. Its right click is a grab. I'm guessing whatever the Tapejara can grab, it can grab too. Its C key, while flying, is a barrel roll. However, on land, its C key is a wing slap attack. While in the air, if you press control key, it is a wing gust attack. Doesn't do damage but does knockback, and for some reason, while flyers are in the air, you can knock them back onto the ground. So this will be very good for anyone that wants to tame a Quetz. Next up, this creature Q is a roar that sounds exactly like a Spinosaurus. Next, this creature can latch onto walls, like so. I'll try again, and we touch on walls like that. Also, as time passes, this creature has the ability to create Spinojalosaurus milk, which basically works like wyvern milk. And that was the Spinojalosaurus. Up next is the Arachnoptera. It is a mixture between the Aranio, the Onyx, and the Moth. It uses its own particular saddle. Its left click ability is a bite attack. Its right click is a grab. While grab, you can't bite the creature that you grab. Its C key is a web projectile, which leaves a mist on the floor, I guess. But any creature that is hit will be webbed, and any creature that has web gas on them will have their armor gain a little bit, however have their speed greatly reduced. Its control key is Reckless Dash, that will basically run and hit anything. And it says that it will do stun to anything getting hit by its dash, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And I'm gonna try one more time. Yep. Lastly, a note on the website, it says that explosive damage will heal it. So yeah, that's the Arachnoptera. Next up will be the herbivores. First up is the Apatoramphus, a mixture between the Terrabird, the Chondrosaurus, and the Brontosaurus. For saddle wise, it uses the Bronto saddle, so that means that it can use the platform saddle as well. Its left click ability is a tail swipe attack, which also harbors quite a bit of quite a bit of materials nearby. That guy just decided to peace out. Its right click attack is a light foot stomp attack. Good for anything that is underneath your feet and you just want to kick them away. Its C key is a bite attack, which has an absurd range to be honest. And lastly, his X key is Bird Song Roar. So upon activating, it gives everyone the Bird Song Happiness buff. So what does the buff do? It basically reduces damage taken by 30% while increasing speed by 15%. And that was the Apatoramphus. Next up is a name that I can definitely get behind, called the Supertherium. The Supertherium is a mixture between the Caticle, the Therizinosaurus, and the Megalosaurus. Or how I like to call it, this is basically a vegan Wendigo. It uses the Calicotherium's saddle. Its left click ability is a swipe attack that deals quite a significant amount of damage. Additionally, this attack can also be used to harvest wood. Its right click is a super rock throw, which deals, as you can see, quite a bit of damage at point blank range, but this can be thrown pretty far. As you can see, it's like really far. Like, okay, I was saying if I hit that Pterodon, it would be quite a funny moment, but oh well. And lastly, his C key is a standard bulk bite attack. And that's it. That was the Supertherium. Up next is this guy, the Ramotherium. It's a mixture between the Mammoth, the Megatherium, and the Rhino. I can't get out. The Ramotherium uses the Mammoth saddle. Its left click is a horn attack. Additionally, it can run and build up damage similar to that of the Rhino. So upon hitting, it will also do increased damage. Right click is a head swipe. C key is a stomp attack that does knockback and also a lot of damage. We're gonna do it again. As you can see, there's quite a knockback and quite a bit more damage. X key is taunting roar. It is supposed to work like the Mammoth debuff, but for some reason it's not working. And that's it. That was the Ramotherium. Up next are the omnivores. First up is the Lurdwarps, which is a mixture between the Daeodon, the Mammoth, and the Woolly Rhino. Right off the bat, it does not have any charge attack similar to that of the Woolly Rhino. So, starting with left click, it is a bite attack. Its C key is a horn attack that deals increased knockback but not as much damage. More damage but not as fast. Right click is the heal ability, and according to the website, it heals allies in a in an area 2 times larger than that of a Daeodon's radius. And that was the Lurdwarps. Up next is a combo duo, the Lutrine Parvus and the Lutrine Magnum. So let's start with the Lutrine Magnum first. The Lutrine Magnum first ability is a bite attack that can apparently gather silica pearls for whatever reason. A right trick ability is a charge attack that stuns or cripples creatures. Do that one more time. As you can see, it does the cripple similar to when a Triceratops rams into you in the face. Its C key is a rock throw attack, as you can tell from that. However, it can't throw. Its aiming is a bit weird, I guess. Like it aims, I aiming here, but it aims in like nearly 35 degrees in another direction. So the website says that X is a slash attack. However, X in fact is the charming intimidation, which basically reduces damage of creatures by a negative 10%. Q does not do anything, however control does his slash attack, which basically makes him go apeshit crazy. And lastly, if we use it with, if we picked up the little guy and use it with the big guy, what does it do? God knows. But according to the wiki, it's a buff giver for the Magnum version of it. So how does it work as a buff? Let me take a look. So how does the little guy buff the big guy? Honestly, I have no idea, so I'm just going to test out right now. So you can pick it up on your shoulder as a pet, and while riding it, it does not really do anything different. Yeah, I'm not very sure what's the difference, because it still does the same amount of damage. Not much stuff. Yeah, so I'm not too sure. The website did say that it does give a buff, however I don't know what are the circumstances to make the buff, or it's not working. And that was the Lutrine Magnum and the Lutrine Parvus. Up next is this little guy that is flying for some reason, called the Raptoromastax. The Raptoromastax is an Ichthyornis that can stun and steal stuff while working as a mobile alert system while it's on your shoulder and set on aggressive. So basically, if you put it on your shoulder and you set it to aggressive, it will activate whenever something is nearby. However, as you can see, it's minding its own business. I'm just gonna let it be. Basically, it's the ultimate stealer pet kind of thing, because you know it flies and it can steal shit. And yeah, that's about it. That is all of the Type A hybrids. In the next part, I'll be going through all the Type S hybrids for SIDS hybrid. This has been Kasu, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!